despite his closest friends, pride and folly whispering that they might not approve of the match. Even when he knew it was his own misgivings that had begun to surface. Eager to please his bride, Heathcliff had thrown his whole heart into the marriage, deferring to her wants and wishes, however outlandish they seemed. He simply delighted in her smile, feeling as though it were the rising sun in his life. Only to find out she had her own rising sun. It wasn't even 6 months into the marriage when his world shattered. He'd come back from Edinburgh earlier than arranged, expecting to surprise his wife with a beautiful music box from Italy, a gift he had ordered months before. He'd sprinted up the stairs, only to find his wife astride another man, in his bed. The music box met a swift end when he hurled it across the room, alerting the lovers of his presence. The sound of it smashing against the wall echoed in his thoughts. She didn't even have the good grace to pretend shame. He'd stormed off, knowing if he stayed there would be blood on his hands. A divorce was the only option. He wouldn't share his wife with another, nor would he be fool enough to pretend it could work to look the other way. That was when she confessed to being with child. If betrayal were a coffin, that revelation was the last nail in his heart. Because she wasn't sure who was the father, which only meant it may, or may not, be his child. Did he dare risk abandoning his own son or daughter? He couldn't, wouldn't risk it. Regardless of the mother's sins, the child was innocent of them. So, he sent Margot away to his estate in the Scottish Highlands, and waited. Heartbroken and bitter, his father was the only voice of reason to reinforce his decision not to put away his wife in divorce. As a reminder of the heartbreak, he ordered a replica of the music box he had bought for Margot. May he never forget. The child was stillborn, and Margot followed shortly after. If that weren't enough heartbreak for one man, there wasn't an end in sight. The next day, Heathcliff strode into his father's study and found him slumped over in his chair. The doctor said it was his heart. And in 1 week, Heathcliff had lost everyone, including himself. He returned to London, finding that Lucas's life had suffered a similar upheaval. Ramsay was the last man standing, but he too would fall. It was only after they all survived the betrayal of others that they turned their efforts toward alienating the society that had made light of their pain. When Lucas came up with the idea for the gambling hell, both Heathcliff and Ramsay were quick to throw their hats in on the idea. Titled Dedicated Bachelors, it was time for them to enjoy life, instead of dwelling on the pain dealt so cruelly by the fates. Lucas's idea had a name, a bloody insightful one. Different from all the other gaming hells about London, this one would thrive on anonymity. No names, no faces, masks and the uttermost exclusivity no other hell could boast. No strings attached, where your privacy was also your security, your pleasure. Temptations. Short, sweet, and directly to the point. Because when you live in the moment of temptation, you're too consumed to dwell on the past, and the ghosts that haunt it. London, 1815.
I'm so very disappointed you will not be able to make the acquaintance of your new employer, Miss Miranda.
Lady Barrett's clear blue eyes conveyed sympathy. She reached over and placed a gloved hand upon Miranda's as they took their afternoon tea in the Barretts' parlour. Miranda. She practised the name in her mind, wrapping her head around the new identity, and the necessity of taking it. Nodded once.
I understand, Lady Barrett. It's unfortunate, but it's clear there are other implications one must consider.
Implications was a simple way to state it. In the past 24 hours, her life had changed significantly. Viscount Kilpatrick was not only her new employer, but the best friend of her sister's new husband, Lord Heightfield. It was under that close connection she had secured a way to elude her tyrannical father, the Duke of Chatterwood, by taking on temporary employment under the protection of the Viscount. In hiding till the carriage to Edinburgh, Scotland, could convey her to safety.